Good day and welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Budget Your Energy. Thank you. If you are someone that has paid attention, if you are someone that is giving me your attention and your energy, either during the week if it's saved or during the Sundays when it launches, I'm going to play around with what time I want to launch distribute or put up or upload the system, the videos. Well, that was a bit of a tongue twister. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Today's topic is going to be about energy environments. I would really appreciate it if you could listen through the 15 minutes that I'll try to stick to and give me a comment on what environments work for your energy, because the main concept here is to say, okay, where do I need to be and what do I need to do? What environment should I be in that allows me to be at the peak of my efficiency, or if it's even just being happy? Sometimes that's what you need in order to perform in life. And when I say perform in life, I'm not talking the same as performing in a job or an appraisal, but are you in a space, an environment that allows you to be the person that you want to be? Is a very good question. Sometimes we, just like relationships, right? You go through infatuation and then love. Sometimes you get infatuated with an environment, and then when it's time for that long-term commitment to that environment, you either not always, but you can jump into it too quickly. You can not ask the hard questions, certain things, and that's what I really want to talk about today. Is there are different ways. My personal self, I like clean environments. I think that if there was too much hustle and bustle on this desk, it would be harder for me to concentrate. Excuse me. I think if everything behind this camera right now was all over the place, I probably also would battle to concentrate and to focus. And at that same point, I also want to know, so people will say clean up your space, declutter, it's good for your mind, and I also want to note that different strokes for different folks, right? So I'm saying what I enjoy, number one, and I'm asking you to look into what it works for you. But number two, it's also about understanding, or I don't believe that perfection exists, for example. So when I talk about my environment and everything around me, I do have to put forward that although things are clean, they're not perfect. Like, I have a corner of the apartment that just has rubbish or junk or whatever I need to deal with. Let's say I have to throw it away, or if I can do that once a week, I will have my dirty corner for laundry. Actually, right now, the wash basket is the laundry machine, right? Point I'm trying to say is everything has, like, the rubbish or the not so nice part that has an area in the space which I can see right now, but my mind is okay that space is dedicated to that. Then I have an area where I sleep, then I have an area where I create, then I have an area where I think. And these are not like rooms, they're areas within a room or an apartment. And obviously you have an area where you cook. What I'm trying to get towards is that is how we should also budget our energy. Energy environments, placing habits and routines and spaces. So we've already talked about habits, for example, and routines, like the candle. The candle does not have to specifically link to the activity, which is either, let's say, podcast or music or just thinking. For me, it's like a creative thing. I was having a conversation with someone. I'm going to sidetrack very quickly. having a very nice conversation with someone, saying maybe it's something primal in me that, way back in the ancestral days, family time around a fire in cavemen days could have been, would have been around a naked flame or a fire. And this is where decisions could be made, and also, so maybe that's what works for me. Again, that's just an idea of mine. Point being, we have the habits, we have the routines that are in place that keep us on track, maybe not the right word, but then where do we go to do these things? Number one, if we are in a space, for example, my apartment, where do I go to create? Where do I do the work that pays my salary? Where do I sleep? Where do I cook? Where do I sleep? There's so many where do I do's. And sometimes I need to get out of this apartment in order to do those things, right? Because you can't always be stuck in the apartment. But you have spaces that create different outcomes. And these are what I call energy environments. They're places where you go in and you can get that energy you need, or get into that flow state that you need to, or get into that zone which allows you to achieve the outcome that you have in mind. I think what's interesting about that is very similar to things like a candle or some subconscious routine or something. A trigger is the right word. Some subconscious trigger that puts you in a flow state or in a momentum or whatever you're looking, let's say it directs you towards your outcome, your desired outcome. I think that's so important. I think that this idea of being a digital nomad, for example, is based on that of having high energy environments. People are finding great success in moving around to environments that benefit their desired outcome. Do you want to go to Bali, where your cost of living is less and the place is beautiful and the Wi-Fi is better than Seychelles, for example? Do you want to head down that side so that you can start a business or whatever it is you want? Write a blog, write a book, make a podcast. These are write music. Maybe you want to, for example, I have a very close friend of mine, my brother from another mother, and we're talking about, finding an environment where we can set 7 days aside of just making music. And these are all creative things, but it can also be in business, right? But let me finish the creative and then go into the business and then into the personal energy. But these are spaces where we say, okay, we're going to set this environment up where we can write on the wall, where we can draw pictures, where we can have a beer, where we can press play whenever we feel inspired or record whenever we feel inspired. That's all set up to make it easy to achieve the desired outcome. One of the intentions is understanding what the outcome we desire is. Then you can go into business. Does 4 white walls make you effective when it maybe you have to do financial things, right? So it's all about the computer and Excel or whatever and a bunch of numbers. You don't want too much movement around there because you've got to zone in on your desired outcome, which could be, let's say, a P&L, for example, profit and loss statement. But then when you're trying to create a cocktail menu, do I want to be in 4 walls? No, I want to be in the venue that I'm creating for. Why? Because I want to feel the temperature. I want to listen to the music. I want to see how the staff move. I want to see what what do I see? Do I see moon? Do I see ocean? Do I see a swimming pool? Do I see a big selection of booths? There's all of that, but I move into the environment because I have my desired outcome, and I move into that environment in order to get to the desired outcome. So what I'm trying to say is, in my opinion, if you are able to formulate a desired outcome, I think it's very important to then look at the environment that you can get the energy you need in order to get towards that goal. I think that it is worth your time and energy to spend time and energy to either create this environment. Let's say if it's in your apartment, move things around and fix it in a way. Either create that environment or earn money to get to that environment, or put a plan in place that makes that environment exist. For the sole reason that it will get you towards your desired outcome quicker. For that reason that you will be able to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And that can either pay for itself or can make you, release the chemicals that make you want to do more. There's so many things that it could do, but I don't advise you, but I just would really strongly recommend that you understand what environments make you happier, more productive, more efficient, more energetic. If it is a coffee shop with eye candy as a barista, or great music, or just good prices. If it is a beach with your feet in the sand. If it is whatever. There's no blueprint to it. But make sure you know what gets you to tick in order for you to tick more. In order for you to achieve the desired outcome. In order for you to be at the space that you want to be. I think it's really important, and I think once you get into that groove and you know which space, either mentally or physically or emotionally, whichever space, there's two things. Either if you need to achieve something, you'll go to that space straight away, or if you get into that space, maybe by, not mistake, but coincidence, you'll just switch like that and you'll get into that zone. And for me it works. It works a lot to know where to do things, where everything goes. Making space is easier for me to do better or perform better, more efficiently at a higher rate for a better outcome. That is my opinion. So yeah, I've written a blog post about energy environments. I'll put it in the description down below, somewhere in the comments, just above the comment section. Still getting used to all of this. As I say, if you could subscribe, it's free, that would be appreciated. If you could like, up to you as well, if you have got this far. We are available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. If you don't want to see my face, you can go look at that. And yeah, Instagram, trying to grow that too, with some short videos and snippets and bits and bobs in there as well. So budget your energy on Instagram, and I believe TikTok as well. Budget Your Energy podcast on TikTok, because I don't know what happened to Budget Your Energy, the first one, so I had to start a new one. My bad. And yeah, that's about it for today. I am sticking to my 15 minutes, just below, and I want to wish you a strong weekend. I want to wish you an efficient use of your time. I want to wish you the ability to notice what wastes your time and what provides you with energy and makes you happy. And I'm not talking about being a hippie, happy tree hugger. If that's what you want to do, that's also okay. But I'm not only talking about just being happy and no worries. I'm talking about understanding that your worries and your happiness will be up and down. Your worries will come and go. But there are ways to manage this, to manage your time, to manage your energy as well, so that you do not put yourself down and you have the ability to carry on moving. And that is all I'm going to say for this week. But thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. My name is Raven Rudolph, and this is Budget Your Energy.